Hello and welcome everybody. This is Jess from Sacred Fox. It's been a little while since I've done a pick a card reading. Apologies for that, but today we're going to be diving right in with a question that's, I feel, very helpful for people that are kind of struggling in this year and last year. So this is going to kind of be a card reading for what is the next year going to look like and where will you be in the next year or so. This is maybe going to touch a little bit on the emotions of the situation that you might be enduring, some of the things that you can kind of look towards improving, and hopefully just kind of work towards really reinforcing that greater sense of self and that greater sense of confidence throughout the next year. And just kind of gives you a nice little starting point and just kind of helps you evaluate some things that are going on. We have 4 piles of cards here. If this is your first time doing a pick a card reading, you're welcome to choose one of these 4 cards. If you feel that you're compelled to choose more than one, that's also an option. I do have timestamps down in the description, so you can fast forward to those. Yeah, I hope your reading is very accurate for you. Keep an open heart, keep an open mind. If it does not resonate with you, that's okay. This is a general reading. Not all messages will be exclusively for you. Sometimes it's going to be for others. But I'm just going to say whatever comes up. We are going to be doing some tarot cards initially, and then I'll also be pulling some oracle cards as well, so tarot and oracle, to kind of get a little bit of more of a full spectrum sort of feeling of the reading. So we're going to go ahead and pop over to number 1. So I'm going to move these other cards over here. Move. Gotta do it in a way so I don't get it out of order. Okay. Great. So we have pile number 1 here. Welcome. This reading is going to be taking a look at what your next year is going to look like, as well as proceeding up to where will you be a year from now. So this is going to kind of maybe look at some of the situations you're going through, some of the struggles, and maybe give you a little bit of insight into a few things here. I'm also going to pull a couple of oracle cards right off the bat, just so we can kind of have a little bit of clarifiers right off the... I'm going to put these face down just to start, add to the mystery. So the first crystal that you have chosen is clear quartz. So clear quartz, to me, that's so much about just clearing the palette, the slate. Clear quartz is a lot about intention, so you can really program this particular type of crystal for intention purposes. It's for cleansing, it helps cleanse other crystals, and it's just a really good conduit for energy in general. So I feel that with this particular one, I feel like this is going to be so much about understanding what you need to do in order to create a clear intention for yourself. As you can see in the quartz, we have a little bit of cracking in here, but for the most part, it's quite clear. You can see through it. There might be a little bit of uncertainty that's kind of coming up for you, but I also feel like this is going to be a year of clarity. So I'm really happy to see and hear that for you. We're going to just put that aside. I feel like for some reason, I really want to hold on to this. Like, I really want to hold on to like clarity, and I'm not sure why. It's just like a need for clarity, a need for focus, a need for setting an intention. Maybe I need this card. Who knows? So we're going to take a look at the cards that come up here. Okay. So we're going to look first off the bat. We have the Queen of Swords. We have the Page of Swords reversed. Really interesting. Total opposite polarities. We have the Magician. And we have Justice. Okay. So what I see when I look at these guys is so much of a conflict in desires. I feel like you're trying to find this balance, and I feel like you might be like having this battle in your head between sort of like the person that's supposed to take charge and like figure things out, and sort of like this more like childish sort of aspect of thinking as well. So I feel like there might be a little bit of flip-flopping between the two. So ultimately, a lot of the balance this upcoming year and 1 year from now, I feel like you're really going to be growing more into sort of like this person here, the Queen, as opposed to the Page, which is sort of a novice in things. The Queen has come a ways. So she's gone through the Page, she's gone through the Knight, she's become the Queen, and then of course next is the King. But right now, when I really do see this, I feel like this is the place of sort of like intense energy. Like I feel like it's a very intense energy that you have. You have a lot of mental sort of a lot of mental energy going on here. And what you want essentially is clarity. And when I see the Queen, she can make decisions that are concise. They are cunning. They are clever. I just feel like she's really well-founded in what she stands for. And she's not afraid to use her sword. And then when I say that, I think of people that can be cutthroat, but not necessarily for a bad reason. I'm seeing this as more of like a, hey, like, we're just going to cut to the chase in a way. So like you kind of say things that maybe people don't want to hear, but at the same time, you have this mental clarity and you have this kind of way about you that you can deliver information in a way that just kind of cuts through the BS. And I feel like this is something that you're really going to be working on this next year. I feel like this Page of Swords energy, which is almost, I feel like a blocking energy to the Queen. I feel like these like sort of like more immature aspects. I'm not necessarily detecting it's a part of you. I feel like it might be a part of the world where you're just like looking at the way that people are viewing the world, that you're seeing the world, and it's just kind of like, oh, okay, this isn't exactly getting anywhere. A lot of impulsivity of thinking, sort of just like brash, uneducated, naive sort of energy coming from this sort of this page. I just feel like this guy is just no good. He's a little bit like pessimistic. He doesn't know what he wants. He's flip-flopping. He's confused, and he's not sort of ready to just grab onto the reins of that emotional sort of train. I'm not sure if this is somebody else in your life. It very well could be. I do kind of get the vibe that this could be just an obstructive force sort of in the way of your Queen of Swords, which is almost making you feel like, oh my God, like, am I on the same level? But I feel like you are actually going to be teaching this person a lot because you do have that wisdom behind you. So I'm really seeing that's really excellent. So you're able to sort of be like, hey, like I can give you a sense of clarity. But the problem is though, this like page is really stubborn, and I don't know if he's actually going to listen to the advice of Queen of Cups, because he's like, I know everything already. I don't need any of your information. So just be aware of people that are like this. I am definitely seeing that there is going to be some challenges in regards to conflicting thoughts. Like your thoughts are going to be kind of challenged a little bit, but that's where you need to stand strong and know what you stand for and know what you believe in. When I see the purple as well, it speaks to me a lot about intuition and just knowing what the right thing is. And you will kind of notice if you are kind of falling towards this Page of Swords energy where it's like a little bit more scattered, a little bit less thought out, maybe a little bit brutal, rough around the edges, and maybe your information might not be coming across to these people or even to yourself as productive. So understand that there are these two elements, but never forget sort of where you came from, because you were here at one point as well. It took you a while to get to this point of this Queen, but I do see definitely that these are the messages that are kind of coming through for these two cards, which are super interesting because it's a reverse and it's an upright. So it's a little bit of like a contrast of energy. So just be aware that the strength of your thoughts and the strength of your abilities to decipher information, to be able to deliver information, are going to improve over the next year. But there might be some aspects of you that you might need to challenge, or aspects of other people in your life that might create a little bit of a challenge for that. But understand that you have come a long way. And I feel like this clarity really speaks to me about the Swords card. It's like clarity. Like I feel like you know, and you are ready to deliver information, and you're ready to sort of get it out there. And you're kind of sick of maybe these types of people, or perhaps aspects of yourself that are sort of standing in the way, because you know you're capable. And I do see that this like clear quartz is really going to create a lot of clarity for you in the next year. I'm really happy to hear that. So when we look over here to a couple of the other cards, we have the Magician. I love this picture because, you know, he's just going to go head first right into the snow. When I see the Magician, we have the sword, we have a pentacle, we have a cup, and we have a wand. And that's all of the suits in one card. So when I see that, the Magician being upright, to me is like you have resources. You have a lot of resources in order to kind of navigate some of the harsher conditions of life. As you can see, the fox is in the snow, but he understands that if, he digs down, he will find what he needs. It might not be right on the surface, but I definitely do feel that in this pursuit, you're going to have a lot of tools and a lot of the resources that you do need to succeed, and you do need to sort of like refine this. This is actually a really great reading for the next year because I do see that there's a lot of growth, there's a lot of understanding, and you have a lot of resources that you can work with. So despite some of the challenges that you are going to face, you are definitely going to be able to have all of the tools and the cunning to sort of get through this. The interesting thing is when I see the Queen of Swords and I see the Magician, I do see that there's like a lot of power. You have a lot of influence of power over others. And this is a lot about embracing your power and understanding the influence that you do have on others, as well as just looking around and saying like, hey, look, I do have resources. I do have tools. So when I feel like I'm frustrated by sort of like this opposing aspect of maybe immaturity or like a lack of clarity of thought, then you do have resources. You are able to reach out and you sort of are able to kind of get what you need from some of the information around you. For some reason, I just feel like flipping these guys over. Okay, so we have chocolate. Nourish your body and soul. Look at how decadent that looks. I would love to eat that right now. And then we have lilac. And then that's strengthen your faith, which is interesting. We'll jump into that as we're kind of like looking through this last sort of card here. With the Justice card, it's so much about fairness. It's so much about balance. It's so much about reaping what you sow. So a lot of the hard work that you are going to be putting in is definitely going to come out in a way that is manifesting to your greatest good, because you recognize the duality and the balance of sort of good and evil and what is right and what is wrong, which I think is really interesting because it's like almost like the scales a little bit here. So when I see the Justice card, I'm like, okay, you are really going to be taking a look at what is fair, what is right, and what is balanced. And with the Magician card and the Justice card together, these are both very major arcana. So I see that there is a lot of really positive big changes that are going to be happening for you in terms of understanding where you hold power and understanding how that balance of power kind of plays in your life. I'm not sure why, but I just feel like this is so much about taking your level of empowerment back and really allowing yourself to be confident in your word and in your voice and in what you have to say and deliver, and do so in a way that is constructive, that is productive, that is strong, and that will push you forward even more. Beautiful, incredible energies here for this reading, and we're going to pop right over to these oracle cards now. So lilac. When I see lilacs, I think of spring. I think of freshness. They're honestly one of my favorite flowers. They smell so beautiful. Here it says strengthen your faith. So when I see the pinky purple, I also think of intuition. I think of third eye chakra. I think of crown chakra. Also tying into the Queen of Swords with that color kind of variation. Strengthen your faith is coming into your intuition and feeling comfortable and confident in what you need to relay. The faith doesn't necessarily have to be religious or spiritual or anything like that. This can just be faith in yourself, faith in your ability to carry a message, faith in yourself to be able to have a voice and speak out. And certainly it could correlate to spiritual or religious aspects, but I also really do feel like this is so much of just like having confidence in yourself and just knowing that the messages that you need to bring forward are the right messages. And of course, if you do feel like something's off, with the Page of Swords, if you do feel like you're like, oh, you know what, like maybe I did come across a little bit harsh, or maybe I have something to learn from this, do recognize that you are going to have some opposing forces in this regard, whether it be kind of within your own ego or within the world. But at its core, I really do feel like the closer you get to yourself, closer you get to your level of I know what is right, and I'm going to stand by it, the more comfortable you'll be and the less afraid you'll be of sort of like this opposing aspect, because you'll be sort of settled within yourself and you'll be able to be like the judge within your own mind. I'm also seeing chocolate. Now I'm hungry, honestly. This is so much about nourishing your body and soul. So when I see this, it's like take care of yourself in a 360-degree sort of aspect. So make sure you're really looking towards working with your mental health, okay? Working on your mind, your body, maybe implementing a new health sort of regime, whether it be maybe just doing some stretches in the morning, or maybe implementing more vegetables, or, you know, allowing yourself sort of the nourishment that you need in order to sort of develop this aspect of intuition that you're wanting to. And of course, for the soul, like practicing some sort of belief system, or understanding what your morals are, or looking up quizzes on your values, and just understanding what is really important to you. This as a whole, I feel like will allow you to be a little bit more open. So make sure you do get that self-care in there, because that's really going to be important while you're developing and while you're changing, because you will be going through a few little struggles. You will have a lot of really great things going on, but at the same time, it's not going to be without some opposing forces. So making sure that you're taking care of yourself and you're sort of looking overall. I do see that over the next year, you're really going to be improving that sense of being able to communicate effectively and speak your mind effectively in a way that is constructive, as well as I really do feel like you're just going to be getting closer to yourself and just allow yourself to just be open to some of like the different new experiences that your body needs in order to feel comfortable. Like, you know, maybe taking more baths, or going on walks, or, you know, doing things for you. And it's so much about you and so much about what you can do, because it's so much about taking back your personal power and understanding that some of these routines and things will give you a sense of power, even though you might not necessarily feel powerful all the time. This is going to give you a soul power. I'm not saying that you're going to have power over others, but this is more of like an empowerment within kind of move that's going on, which is really fantastic. So I really encourage you to just breathe and aim for that clarity, because that's what's key. That's what's key. And again, the closer you get to yourself, the more clear that clarity will be. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting for pile number 1. So that's badoom badang, just like that. Thank you so much for popping in. If you enjoyed your reading, please leave a comment. Let me know if you chose those cards, if they resonated with you. If not, that's okay. Leave a like and subscribe. I would love to have you on board. We're going to pop over to pile number 2 now. Hello, pile number 2. So we have a reading for you today. This is going to be what is your next year going to look like? So this is going to be not only sort of maybe the end result of what the year is going to bring, but also maybe some of the challenges and the things that you're going to be facing within the year. I'm going to pull a couple of oracle cards as well. I'm just going to pop, pop. And then we're going to turn over the cards here. So this card, or sorry, this crystal that we have on top is a sardonyx. So when I see that, it's just like, I think of like a snowy mountain, you know, like I see like the snow sort of on top, and it's so beautiful and it's so glossy. There's really not a message that's coming up for me from this crystal right off the bat, except for maybe like uncovering the snow and the snow melting and unveiling, an unveiling of sorts, perhaps. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it'll make a little bit more sense when I pop into the reading, but sardonyx, beautiful crystal. Move the clear quartz out of the way. Okay, so we have the Chariot. Ooh, interesting. We have the Knight of Wands, Temperance, the Nine of Cups. I'm going to flip over these guys. We have Coral. Whoa, that's fun orange. Allow flow and synchronicity into your life. And we have Cyan. Build your confidence. Interesting. Okay, so when I look at this, I'm seeing some major sort of arcana in here. So the major arcana is like the Chariot, Temperance, etc. These guys are a lot about sort of how you're going to be, the bigger events of your life, if you will. And of course, some of the minor arcana is just a little bit less intense. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little bit distracted. I just love this card. Look at it. He's got like a rainbow. It makes me so happy. So we're going to just pop right into it here. The Chariot means that there's going to be a lot of self-growth that's going on here. I feel like the last reading that I did in pile number 1 is also very much aimed towards self-growth, but this is almost like a journey within. I feel like this is so much about ambition, so much about direction, so much about putting yourself first and allowing yourself that place of importance that maybe you give to a lot of other people, but maybe you don't necessarily give it as much to yourself. The Chariot so much is about just carrying yourself with confidence, and it's so much about an internal journey, and just allowing yourself to feel just comfortable in your growth and in who you are as an individual. When I see the Knight of Wands, I'm seeing that there's sort of like this energy that's within you that's a little bit sort of like excitable. It's like, okay, I want to get things done. I want to move forward. This is also a very beautiful reading. I'm just very happy that these are a couple of really nice ones. So very much so, you know, it could be the ice melting and the revealing of the raw and the true self. The Knight of Wands is kind of a little bit impulsive, but he has a lot of passion, and I feel like that's who you are. You have a lot of passion and you really want to move forward with your ideas. You still have a little bit to work on though, so just be aware. Try not to make decisions that are too impulsive and too exciting, but at the same time, I don't want you to kind of squash this aspect of passion that you have within you. It's going to be so much of a driving force for you, and I feel like you're definitely going to move through a lot of this energy, as I do feel like the Knight of Wands being maybe a little bit less of an experienced energy, it will still allow you to kind of move forward and flourish with your dreams, goals, and desires. Well, we do have a lot of the Chariot here in right beside the Knight of Wands. So I'm seeing that there's going to be a lot of sort of maybe ambition and ideas and stuff. And I encourage you to actually chase that sort of fire. Like if you do have an impulse to do something great or creative and wonderful, and you feel like it's going to do good for your mental development and some of the goals and aspects that maybe you would like to grow within yourself, I definitely encourage you to just chase that passion. Do it 100%. This is so much about allowing yourself to feel the fire of creation and freedom, which the Knight is kind of like the adolescent in the court cards. It's a little bit of an experimental place. So you're going to be experimenting, you're going to be trying new things, you're going to be really learning what you love and learning about the things that make you tick and make you want to move forward in a way that's just super productive towards your goals. And so much am I seeing in these two guys just feeling like they're just really great, because ultimately you do and you recognize that, you know, you have this amazing capability within you. And I feel like you're still learning how to get your footing in that regard, in regards to how you're going to really present it and kind of make it manifest in the world. But I definitely also do feel that it's really well-founded, and it's well-founded on an aspect of being able to concrete your self-confidence as well as create movement in your life, because this is going to be a lot about movement. You know, we see the Chariot and we see the Knight of Wands. They don't want to stay still anymore. There's so much about like, okay, let's get going. This is really interesting to me that the next two cards that come up are Temperance and Nine of Cups, because the Temperance card here is so much about like balancing life. The Temperance is like water and fire and balance and creation and beauty and getting in touch and harmonizing with your emotions and your intuitions and all of these beautiful things. So ultimately, this path that you're going to be taking in this next year is going to be extremely transformative. You know, when I see that big, beautiful pink flamingo, you know, they just stand there and they just have such an amazing, like, attitude about them. And again, like, if you see the balance, he's balancing on one leg. I feel like you're working towards creating that internal balance and finding what makes you happy and finding maybe some of the darker, the shadow work and stuff, the things that you have to do. Ultimately, I feel like there's this recognition within you that there is this duality that is present. And I also feel that you're kind of coming to understand that this duality is necessary in order for life to be. You know, life, yeah, it can be kind of shit sometimes. But at the same time, on the other hand, it can be very beautiful. And from this, not allowing little setbacks to discourage you, I feel like the Temperance is an understanding. It is a deep wisdom of being like, okay, there is a duality to things. And there is a depth to things. And just having so much water in this card. And interestingly enough, we have water here and then we have fire here. I'm seeing that there is going to be so much balance that's happening within you through some of the changes and the shifts that you're going to be making, maybe even physical changes. There is going to be a beautiful creation of balance that are coming here. So I'm really seeing this play out and this manifest for you really nicely. And the Nine of Cups as well, like I'm just seeing really positive cards here. The Nine of Cups is so much about being able to celebrate and enjoy yourself. I feel like the Cups is a lot of an emotional journey. And I feel like you sort of come to this place where, you know, there's this beautiful butterfly here. It's been transformation. It's taking a lot of maybe some of that more intense energy. You've been through this journey, you've been through this emotion, and your cups are full, and you're ready to sort of celebrate and enjoy and reap the benefits of the new wings that you've grown. There's still going to be a few things that you need to work through in terms of like this sort of like Knight of Wands and understanding how to direct your ambition and maybe your mental power and where you kind of want to go. But at the same time, you're really enjoying the journey, and I'm seeing that as much stuff that you've been through, a lot of hardship you've been through, but at the end of the day, you are here. You are at a place where you can really look back, rejoice, and celebrate how far you have come. Even moving through some of these different phases in life, I'm finding that through a lot of the challenges, you have created balance, which is absolutely beautiful. So that's very interesting because we have like a couple of waterish cards over here. We have a fire, and I feel like the Chariot's more like, I guess the Chariot, could represent fire too, because we have a sun up there, or an air card. I'm definitely getting that because air is movement. In a couple of the oracle cards we have here, we have allow flow and synchronicity in your life, which is interesting that the aspect of flow comes into play. We do have the water cards here, so it's just allowing the flow. I do have another deck with the Temperance card, and it depicts a woman that has 2 cups, and she's like pouring them back into the water and picking up another with the other cup. So it's just like the infinite, the sort of like that infinity sign, that flowing, that energy. Which is really awesome because when I see coral as well, I definitely feel like it correlates. I'm sorry, with the Knight of Wands, because the Knight of Wands is the fire, it's the ambition, it's the creativity, and when I see orange, that's very sacral chakra. That's very creative, fun, childlike energy in a way, playful. Which I definitely do feel that Knight of Wands embodies, because it's sort of like that, sort of like experimental, playful sort of energy. And it's just, I think it's very complimentary. Also really interesting, I didn't even just make the correlation. So we talked about fire and water. We have the Cyan card, which is absolutely beautiful and is super fantastic. So we have like this creative aspect here. And then it says build your confidence. So the Cyan is more, I feel, like the internal, and the coral is more of like the external. So it's so much about how you feel about yourself. And how you feel about presenting yourself to the world, as you will be building your confidence through these night cards, but also an understanding that you're creating harmony and balance through your life through these water cards. So I feel so much of just like fire, water, boom. Like that's exactly what's going on. There's going to be so much more balance. It's going to come into fruition. You're really going to take a look at yourself, look at the position in your life, make changes that are going to make you happy. Right now, I feel like there is a lot of really great things going on for you right now. So I want you to make sure you recognize that. Don't get caught too much in where you're sitting in terms of the ambition scale, because you're going to get there. You're going to develop and you're going to grow. Right now, it's so much about that personal journey and finding that balance inside and just celebrating a lot of the things that you already have achieved. Yeah, and just like going back to the sardonyx, I definitely do feel like it's the snow. It's the snow that's melting to bring the spring. And so much of this is like, you know, the cold and then the warm. And it's just like, you know what, it could very well, you know, just be the balance, because this is a mix of 2 crystals, right? It's like the rock and the snow. It's like, it's collaboration between all the aspects of self. Yeah, though, like that's kind of what I'm getting for pile number 2. I hope this made sense for you guys. Over the next year, there's going to be a lot of really great things happening for you. So keep your heart and your mind open to different possibilities and potentials. If you enjoyed this reading, leave a comment. Let me know if this resonated with you. Thumbs up would be appreciated if you did, in fact, enjoy. If not, totally fine. And subscribe for more. Thank you very much, and have yourself a fabulous day. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. So today we're going to be jumping into what is the next year going to look like. So it's going to be taking a look at a lot of your ambitions, maybe some of the challenges that you're going to be facing, maybe some things that you can work on, and just kind of maybe like a little bit of an end result of where you're going to be. It's going to give you a good indication. We're going to pull a couple oracle cards here as well. So right off the bat, we have a desert rose. So when I see this, I think of like a tumbleweed in the desert. As much as things can seem a little bit barren and a little bit like empty, a void, the tumbleweed's always just kind of going. The desert rose is beautiful because I feel like it blooms amidst the dryness, amidst sort of like the thing that is difficult to have growth happen. I feel like this is growth. I feel like this is rawness. I feel like this is true feeling and depth. We're going to really take a look at the readings and cards. That's just kind of what I'm getting from this. It's just like, yeah, you've been through some stuff. And when I see like the desert rose crystal, I think of just like, there's beauty amidst sort of like a lot of the barren that's happening. So we're going to just take a peek at what's going on here. 3 of Pentacles. 8 of Pentacles. Interesting. 10 of Cups. The Hierophant. Interesting, my friends. We also have Jade. Take action. Sapphire. Regenerate your body. Are you going back to school? I don't know. I feel like there's something so much about wanting to do something with your life in terms of just like creating a more solid foundation. I feel like you need to focus. I feel like you have a vision of where you want to be. And ultimately, I feel like you are in a good place to sort of like jump in to that vision a little bit, because the 10 of Cups just means, it's so much about emotional fulfillment. But at the same time, as much as you have things that make you happy, I feel like you're ready and you really want to just jump into sort of maybe just looking at some kind of study or pursuing a new interest. Because when I see the 8 of Pentacles, I see, boom, we're really going to get into it. We're going to learn, we're going to sit down, and we're going to focus on something. And I feel like that focus is something that you're maybe craving. The interesting thing enough is we have the Hierophant over here. I know I'm jumping all over with this reading. You're just going to flow with it. The Hierophant is a lot about like teachers and understanding and sort of just like being able to access those higher realms of information and looking to others for guidance, as well as being the person that can embody guidance. So I don't know, you could very well be like in the place to teach or in the place to learn, because when I see the Hierophant, I see that there is this element of just like, yeah, I'm solid. I'm in this place where I can teach. I can provide. The polar bear in the winter is so much about survival and so much about understanding the elements and just using them to her advantage. And that's what I see coming forward here. The Hierophant is very much confident in her place in the world and is just really able to sort of, if you will, the keys here, unlock the potential in others as well as herself. And when I see that happening here in correlation with sort of the 8 of Pentacles, I am seeing that there is an ability and a want and a desire to sort of unfold this knowledge that you desire and you want to learn. With the 3 of Pentacles reversed, I am seeing that there might be a little bit of hesitancy in terms of kind of coming out of your comfort zone and really being able to cultivate your skills. I know that there's like this concern. Sometimes the 3 of Pentacles does represent working with others. So maybe it's a worry about working with others or being in other people's presence, or maybe not being able to be as good at this skill as other people. But I don't want you to feel discouraged, because this is so much of an empowering reading and so much of an encouraging reading. Like, I feel like you really need to nourish yourself and nourish your mind by allowing yourself to sort of dive into understanding, dive into what you can do financially, what you can do resource-wise, what you can do career-wise. Like this, the Pentacles are so much about that solid foundation of home. Interesting as well as like the polar bear is like home. It's like family, nourishing, taking care of. So it's just like you want to take care of the people in your life and the family that you have around you. And you want to be able to continue to bring that element of just joy and happiness and feeling like you have everything that you need. And I feel like this desire and this interest to sort of like learn something new and to cultivate that is really going to be beautiful for you, as well as it's going to give you more skills to sort of tie into this 10 of Cups, beautiful, loving family home energy. When I see the Oracle cards here, it's like Jade. It's like take action. It's like boom. It's like, you know what? now's as good a time as any. You know, when I see the green, it correlates with the pentacles, it correlates with security, heart. You have a little bit of doubt here, but I really don't want you to worry, because this is just a minor element of things. So this sort of like being able to take your skills and use them, that's why I feel like going back to school or learning something new is really going to be just like the core of understanding for you. And this is a minor, okay? When I see these other things like the 10 of Cups and the Hierophant, I see ultimately you know what you want your goal to be, and you have an end in sight. And I think that that's really beautiful. You do want to take care of your family, and you want to take care of your mind. And just diving into this like mind project is going to be really fantastic. And I'm seeing that there's going to be a lot of focus on this. So that's going to really allow you to sort of feel like you're creating something amazing. So this desert and the rough thing, I feel like you're able to still hold a lot of stuff together despite some of the challenges that are going on. You know, the tumbleweed is a little bit of an interesting visual, but the desert rose is just like beauty blooming amidst uncertainty of environment. You know, it's like you are able to create, and you are able to bring forward joy and bring forward hope amidst maybe a very barren and a very concerning aspect, which is interesting. We have the desert rose, which I think of as desert, but at the same time, if you consider the polar bear an opposite of tundra, it's very much the same. It's barren, but it's also using the resources that you have around you to almost unlock, as we see the keys here, unlock your potential and unlock the resources that you need in order to allow yourself and your family and anybody that's close to you to feel secure. I think that's really fantastic. On top of it, we have the sapphire, which is rejuvenate your body. So I see this, there might be a need for sort of like maybe a little bit of like a bodily cleanse or relaxing or something in this regard to just kind of allow you to take a break from maybe some of these worries and some of this concern. Understand that any of the tiredness or the exhaustion that you are feeling could very well be a product of just maybe not taking care of yourself as well as you should. So it's really encouraging to just dive into that cool, calm, and collected energy and allow yourself to just, take care of you and take care of polar bear, take care of yourself. Make sure you have all of the things that you need in order for your body to be able to kind of come through and work on this sort of like new feat, if you will. And I feel like that's really going to make such a difference. And once you feel like you regenerate and rejuvenate, then I do feel that just like the water and the green, it's just going to grow. Like there's going to be a lot of growth here that's happening. And it definitely encouraging you to take a look at some of like the aspects of your life in regards to sort of like cultivating skills and using what you have in order to just work with your skills a little bit better. I hope that makes sense. Nice quick reading. I don't know why, it just felt like it needed to get out really quick. This is the message that's for you. I feel like you got a lot of stuff to do. So do seriously enjoy your day. If this resonated with you, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you'd like, and leave a comment if you want. Thank you, pile number 3. Do enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you soon. Hello, pile number 4. Welcome to your reading today. We're going to be taking a look at the next year, some of the things that you're going to be cultivating within yourself, some of the things that you're really going to be pushing forward with, maybe some growth, things that happen. You never really know what's going to come up. It's kind of magical. We have an apophyllite crystal here. So this is very much about angels connecting with your higher self, connecting with your guides, so much about just like feel good energy. So we'll see that crystal came up there. We've been having some really amazing readings today. So I'm really happy to whoever I'm delivering these messages to, because I'm feeling pretty good. So we'll see how this goes. Might be an intense one, might not be, who knows? I'm going to pull a couple oracle cards here. I'm running my mouth real fast. So I'm going to try to slow down a little bit. Okay, let's see. Let's take a look at what your next year is going to look like. Temperance. 8 of Cups. Awesome. Ace of Wands. And 9 of Swords. Interesting. Okay. So, this is... I just got goosebumps. I got goosebumps. This is going to be a huge year for you. Wow, this is beautiful. Okay, so overcome your challenges are oracle cards, and black, find richness in the dark night. Woo! I love it. This is beautiful. Wow. So there is so much intense energy here. I don't want that to scare you, because I also feel so much growth that maybe you kind of came from a place that just felt dark and crimson. I don't know why. It's like very much these colors, you know, very much the black and the plum, sort of just like deeper, intense. Maybe you did a lot of shadow work, and maybe you're still working on that shadow work. This is so much about diving into sort of like the parts of yourself that maybe you're still not certain of, and the parts of yourself that you're not sure of. So this might be a little bit like you don't know if this is what you want, but just keep listening and we'll kind of go with it, okay? So apophyllite means that you have angels with you. There's guides, if that's your belief, or your higher self, whatever you want to know. You do have divine presence with you that is helping you along your journey. Interestingly enough, we did pull the Temperance card, I think, in pile number 2. So we have the Temperance card pop up again here, and in this, she is balanced. You know, she has the silver cup and the gold cup, and she is this infinite, beautiful creation. So I feel very much that you're striving towards creating balance in your life. And I know that can be a very general statement, but this is a lot about the yin and the yang, a lot about understanding how your dark emotions correlate with your light emotions, and rather than pushing them away, pushing them aside, I feel like you're going to learn to work with them a little bit more. You're going to have this movable sort of energy that you're just going to be able to cycle throughout yourself. So there's going to be ups and downs. I'm not going to lie. There is 110%. But I want you to understand that through these ups and downs, you are going to gain wisdom. You're going to be gaining so much wisdom about what you want, the direction you want to go. This is a big shift. This is a big change, and it's not going to happen overnight. This is going to happen over the period of the next year, but I do feel like this is your desire. You want this balance. You want this peace. You want this sense of control and power over sort of this duality of emotions. And I think that that's really amazing, because right now I see that you're understanding that there are some things, some lost opportunities, lost friendships, emotional investments that you have to walk away from. And that can be an extremely painful thing. It can be really concerning. Like, you don't know what's next. You don't know what's upon the horizon. But understand that just because there are a few cups that you left knocked over, understand that the journey that you're going to be taking, the cups that are meant to stand will stand. You can see this person's moving towards the horizon. So they're looking out towards the horizon. So the dark night has ended. The slow mole energy navigating through the darkness is ending. And you're looking towards, and you're looking at the potential that's before you, which is amazing and which is a beautiful energy. I'm really happy to see that. But it's going to hurt a little bit. It's going to hurt a little bit, and that's okay. That's a part of the journey, and it sucks and it's not great, but know that you don't have to be stuck in sort of like this energy. You don't have to be stuck in this energy of mourning over these losses anymore, because it's holding you back from growth. And that's the thing that's kind of keeping you maybe in some of the darker, the plum energy, where it's just like, okay, like, how am I going to move forward with this? How am I going to grow from this? You will. I promise you, it's going to be a journey, but I feel like you're getting close to the end. You know, after the 8 of Cups comes the 9 of Cups, which is a card of celebration and emotional rejoice. It's going to take a little bit longer to kind of get to the place that you need to be, but at the same time, there's so much that you're walking away from that's going to leave your emotions, leave your soul feeling just a little bit lighter. And I'm really glad that you are sort of looking towards the future rather than just looking at the past and seeing some of the challenges that you have faced. Because yes, these challenges do play a big part in your growth, but they don't have to define you as a person. And I feel like now is the time that you're really ready to sort of like put those in the past and look forward and be like, okay, how can I continue to grow? How can I work towards things? And this is going to be happening over the process of the year. So you're just going to be letting go of a lot. You know, there might be 3 cups down, 4 cups down. No, in this particular card, there's 3 cups that have fallen, but 4 are still standing. So don't forget about that. In this, we have the Ace of Wands, which is really beautiful. I love the Ace of Wands. It speaks of potential. It speaks of creation. Initially, it might seem a little bit intimidating because maybe you have some ambition, but it's still a little bit bottled. Maybe you haven't exactly gone forward and through your ambitions, but it's a spark. There's something inside of you that has lit up. And that is an indicator that you are ready to sort of take action and move forward and just allow yourself to almost unjar yourself, get out of the jar and join the rest of everybody else in here, okay? This is dark of the night, but you see like the firefly just allows that beautiful bright light in amidst the dark. So it's like the spark. So from maybe the places that you've been, some of the darker places, which is interesting because we have the black and it says find richness from the dark night. And I do feel like this correlates with this beautiful Ace of Wands card because it's so much about like, yes, there is beauty in the night, there is beauty in the dark, and there is beauty in the depths of who you are. You may have been through a lot of stuff, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to stay contained into one area. I feel like a lot of the stuff that you've been through creates a beacon for others and creates a beacon for you. It's like a little beacon of hope, I want to say. It definitely is like a lot more of an intense energy of a reading, but at the same time it is such a decadent and beautiful depth of energy. It's like, you know what? Yes, you might have some dark things that you're dealing with or some dark things that you've been through, but at the same time, it is telling me here that there is so much potential and so much growth that's going to be happening for you. So definitely don't give up and understand that Ace of Wands, you know, it's the beginning, right? It's the beginning of a new endeavor, new actions that are going to be taken, new everything. So try to focus on one step at a time, okay? Don't look at the whole staircase and look at how long this journey is going to take. Just get yourself out of the jar and just go from there. Just like the Eight of Cups, which is wandering through the dark, you're going to be having a light through the dark, so you're not going to be navigating alone. As well as I do understand that you are dealing with maybe a little bit of insomnia or anxiety around this. Understand that it's a Nine of Swords. You're coming to the end of this phase, which thank goodness for you, because I know how much this can be playing on your mind. The swords is a lot about illusion. It's a lot about thoughts that are almost keeping you imprisoned in your own mind and keeping you up at night or just causing disturbances. It's so much about like understanding that there is a lot of power and understanding that so much of it is in your head. So much of your fear is in your mind. It doesn't necessarily manifest into the world. It's the worries, it's the uncertainties, it's the fear of repeating past mistakes that leave us stuck and leave us thinking if we're doing the right thing or not. But understand, you know, when you are up at night, when you are facing those shadow aspects of self, understand that there is beauty in that, because that is such a big, beautiful, silky foundation of just strength and being able to just carry yourself forward. And understanding that you have been through the majority of the things that are just shit already is going to be so powerful for you. And this is going to be a mental battle. It's going to be a lot of mental challenging yourself, understanding how you can have a better relationship with shadow self, when you can have a better relationship with the things that you've been through, and also be able to let go of some of the heavier things as well. It's an emotional journey, but it's also a very healing journey. It's gonna hurt, it's gonna feel a little bit uncomfortable, but just know that it is changing, it is shifting, it is purging, and it is like life being expressed and letting go and let go of. So much of it is, you know, the plum is overcome your challenges. And, you know, find richness from the dark. The challenges might even be these aspects of your mind that you feel like are uncertain or feel are imbalanced. Ultimately, though, you have such a great understanding of what those parts of you mean that you're going to really be able to navigate through this in a way that is successful and navigate with a sense of intuition as well. I definitely do feel that you're not alone in this. I do feel that there's a lot of protective energies that are around you. But you're going to be moving on from this phase. This year, these next few months, you're going to be facing more of that aspect. Don't give up. You're getting there and you're really close, because once you're able to sort of dive into a little bit of sort of this like heavier energy, you become less afraid of it. It becomes less of a fear. It doesn't keep you up at night anymore. It's more of like a, you know what? These are the ebbs and flows, and this doesn't have to define my reality. You know, a shitty situation doesn't have to mean it has to be a shitty life. It's just day by day. And I definitely feel like you have that potential within you, and it's just a matter of taking things one step at a time. Don't try to dive into new projects too crazy right away. Give yourself that time, that patience to understand that you are going through healing, and allow that ambitious, assertive aspect to come out little bit by bit, and making sure you are doing that self-care. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting for pile number 4. I really hope it resonated with you. If it did, love you lots. Leave a thumbs up, comment if you'd like, and subscribe. Good luck with your year, and I will see you sometime soon. Take care.